Do you think the individual mandate is constitutional? Do you think
no? I don't think
the government has the right to tell people you're going to get health insurance, and if you don't get it, you're going to pay a penalty?
I do not think it's constitutional. Chris, these are dark days for the country. This is deadly serious stuff. This is a total attempt to remake the country as founded and constituted, and it worries me greatly.
We asked our viewers for some questions.
I love Fox viewers. I love them.
Well, George Heflin sent this. If President Obama would agree to an interview, what would be your first question?
Why are you doing this? Why? What do you not like about this country that makes you want to inflict this kind of damage on it?
Lucille Goldman sent this question. Did you vote for John McCain in the 2008 presidential election?
I did.
Really?
Of course.
But you've been so critical of John McCain.
Yes, but you weigh the two. I don't think there are a lot of people, Chris, that are saying there's no difference in two parties. I know a lot of people think that, and they really believe it. But I don't know of any Republican who would try to take over 1/6 of the U.S. economy. I don't know one Republican who would put forth this irresponsible cap and trade bill. I don't know one Republican who actually do that as something he initiated.
Let's talk about the state of the GOP. A recent Fox News poll found that the approval rating for the president has dropped to 49%, but meanwhile, only 25% of people approve of congressional Republicans. As voters have growing doubts about the president and his policies, why aren't they turning to the opposition? Is there something that the Republican Party lacks in the way of a positive, affirmative agenda?
The Republican Party needs to learn something. If it goes country club, blue blood moderate, it's going to lose. If it goes Reagan conservative and commits to it, it's going to win landslides.
To press my question, why aren't people turning to the Republicans?
Well, right now there's no central Republican leader to turn to, and there's no central Republican message. The Republican message is sort of muddied. What do they stand for? Right now it's opposition to Obama.
And is that enough?
Well, it may be in 2010. I mean, I actually do think that there's going to be a revolt against the Democrat Party and against Obama, even if voters in 2010 have nothing to vote for.
So do you think that the Republican Party, do you see it as a big tent party or a small tent party?
Big tent.
But you sound like you're kind of saying to the moderates, particularly on social issues, if we lose you, too bad.
When I say big tent, I look at the United States of America. So I'm an American. I love this country. I want everybody in it to do well. The conservative message is not, okay, Hispanics, we have this plan for you. Women, we have this plan for you. That's what the Republican Party is trying to do and emulate group politics. And the history is that, why be Democrat light? Let them handle that. Let's go after the big tent that is the country, and let's go get every person in this country, I don't care what their race is, what their gender is, what their sexual orientation is, if they are told that there is somebody that's going to lead this country or party that is actually going to strengthen them, give them the tools, get out of their way, and let them make this country work, the Republican Party can attract a majority like they haven't seen since the 80s.
In the Time magazine article about Glenn Beck recently, they write, just as you found your place as the triumphant champion of the age of Reagan, that Beck is tapping into the fear and anger on the right today. Is that why you think he struck such a chord? Because he taps into the fear and the anger of the conservatives today? There
is a lot of fear. There's a tremendous amount of fear in the country over what is happening in Washington to individual liberty and freedom. He may well have tapped into that. The anger, I think that's sometimes overplayed because it's become a cliche for the left to say angry white men as a way of denigrating conservative energy and ideology. But there's no question there's a lot of anger. And if he's tapped into that, I wouldn't be surprised.
When you look at Glenn Beck and you see this explosion, what do you feel?
Well, I'm kind of proud.
No envy, no competition?
No. My radio audience is astronomically high. Look at 1988, there was nobody doing what I'm doing. Nobody. You had CNN was the only cable network, and you had the three networks and the newspapers. And now look what's out. All of this conservative media, conservative talk radio, television, Fox News, the conservative blogosphere. I mean, in one way, I could, if I wanted to have my ego be as big as Obama's is, I could say, look what I created. So any success out there on my side, conservative media, damn, if it's going to help us get this country back, bring more in.
Let's do a lightning round. Quick questions, quick answers. You started talking about Vice President Biden this week, and you said to your producers, now get the bleep button, because I may go over the line, and then you censored yourself. So I'll ask you, what do you think of Joe Biden?
Pompous, bit of a windbag, and wrong.
About?
Pretty much everything. I mean, there's a guy in July who says, well, we guessed wrong on the stimulus jobs. We guessed wrong. Anybody with a brain could have told you this stimulus plan wasn't going to work. I mean, he's a walking comedy of errors.
Sarah Palin, you say that you admire her backbone. Do you really think she's ready to be president?
Well, yes, I do. See, I am one thing I do not do is follow conventional wisdom. And the conventional wisdom in Sarah Palin is she's not smart enough. She needs to bone up on the issues. She's little unsophisticated. Alaska, where's that? Doesn't have the pedigree. I've seen she's the only thing that provided any kind of a spark for the Republican Party. Now, this is not an endorsement, but I do have profound respect for Sarah Palin. There are not very many politicians who's been through what she's been put through, and still able to smile and be ebullient and upbeat. I mean, this woman, I think, is pretty tough.
Finally, some politics. You predict a possible bloodbath for Democrats in 2010.
I really do. I know that there is an eruption waiting to happen at the ballot box. I know that a majority of the people in this country are opposed to every single major agenda item that Obama has proposed and is trying to get passed. The mainstream media doesn't do it, doesn't know it. They think they need a visa to go to Missouri. You know, they're not in touch with what's happening. And in fact, if they do find out that there's this kind of angst, they look at the voters with contempt. Well, you're not sophisticated to understand how brilliant Obama is and how magical his agenda. No, they don't want any part of it, and it's going to be bigger than anybody thinks, especially if health care gets passed, and if they get cap and trade, if they start going down this global warming fiasco track and get something passed on that, there will be a revolt at the polls.
If you had to bet now, does Barack Obama win re-election in 2012?
If I had to bet now, he will not.
You got a name of somebody who's going to beat him?
No.
Can beat him?
No, I have no clue about that.
If he does win, how's Rush Limbaugh going to handle 7 more years of Barack Obama?
You know, I'm glad you asked me that, because one of the questions I always get is, but Rush, isn't Obama, aren't these Democrats in power good for your business? And the way I go about my business, I'm out to get the highest ratings I get every day. I'm out to attract the largest audience I can, regardless of the news. It's my talent that draws the crowd. The news is incidental to it. No, I'm worried, seriously worried about the future of the country. I would never put my personal success in front of what I think is something that's disastrous for the country.
And 7 more years of Barack Obama would
it'd be painful. It would literally be painful. This is... Every day you get up and there's a new potential threat to liberty and freedom being launched by this man and his administration. And it's kind of be, I mean, some days I'm in radio, and some days I feel like I'm in the trenches in a war. No bullets being fired, but trenches in a war. I mean, it's really intense when, I love this country to have this kind of passion, and I want Paul Revere. I want as many people to hear what I think the problems are. Because I believe the people of this country eventually make it work and get what they want. I do believe in the democratic process and the vote.
Rush, thank you.
Thank you, Chris.